What's going on, people? So we back with another one, man. We back with another one. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. It's cracking, man. It's cracking. So check it out, man. We about, 33 days away from the big fight? 33 days away? Hey, we here. We about a month away, man. Y'all hype or what, man? Hey, I'm hype, man. I ain't gonna lie. But check it out, man. I wanted to do a video today because a lot of people in my comment section, man, been telling me that, oh, you gonna need to shut your channel down when Errol Spence lose, and oh, you gonna disappear when Errol Spence lose and all that. And I'm like, man, listen. Only way I'm gonna be like fucked up about Errol Spence losing, nah, I take that back. I'm gonna be mad if Errol Spence lose, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. I'm gonna be mad, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be in my feelings and everything if he lose. I am. Hey, I can admit that. I am. And I'm gonna let you know why in a minute. But I'm still gonna ride with him. You know what I mean? I'm riding with him, win, lose, or draw. He lose, hey, dust yourself off and get back up and do it again. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna be, I ain't gonna abandon him, or he ain't gonna be my favorite fighter or nothing like that. If he lose the fight, he lose the fight, he lose the fight. You win some, you lose some. But what I'm really gonna be mad about, and the only way that I'm really gonna be really just pissed off, is if my prediction is wrong in the fight. And that's if Terence Crawford wins a decision. Because I see a possibility that that Terence Crawford can win this fight. I analyzed this fight wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? Just from a stylistic standpoint, I see a possibility of him winning. You know what I mean? He can win this fight by knockout. He can. But I don't see him winning a 12-round decision in this fight at all. So if he was to go in there and outbox Errol Spence and he can win, 7 rounds out of 12, that's what's gonna make me mad. You know what I mean? Because I didn't see that coming. I didn't see him being able to be the better fighter for a majority of a 12-round fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way I'm gonna be mad, man. I ain't gonna lie. But I am gonna feel some type of way if Errol Spence lose, just because, listen, man, Errol Spence is the fighter that got me to become a diehard boxing fan. So I'm gonna take y'all back to the beginning, man. I'm 29 years old, and I used to just watch boxing casually. I always been a football dude, like since I was a kid, man. Since I was about 5 years old, I always loved football. That was my sport. But I watched boxing casually, so I pretty much watched like all the Floyd Mayweather fights, Canelo, you know what I mean? All the big pay-per-views, I would watch them. So I didn't know a whole lot of boxers that was coming up that didn't have no name and stuff like that. But I was a real big Meek Mill fan. Like, Meek Mill was my favorite rapper at the time. So him being from Philly and Danny Garcia being from Philly, he was co-signing Danny one day. You know what I mean? I don't know if he might have walked him out or something before, or, just embracing him on his social media. So I tapped in with Danny. Like, Danny, I'm riding with Meek, so Meek saying this dude is good, I'm gonna check him out, whatever, So Danny was my guy after Floyd. Danny was undefeated at the time. Within that year, I think he was lining it up with Keith Thurman. So, I ended up waiting on the Danny Garcia card, and Errol Spence versus Chris Algieri was on that card. And it's crazy because I ended up seeing Errol Spence fight Chris Algieri. And, man, he went in there and destroyed him, man. He destroyed Chris Algieri. It was crazy. And when I saw it, I'm like, damn, man, this dude is different. You know what I mean? He's special. Like, I saw a special fighter that day. That's why it be killing me how people be saying, like, this dude is basic and he's straight up and down. And, I'm just like, nah, man. Like, when I saw Errol Spence fight, I saw a special fighter. I didn't see just a basic fighter. That's why I hate when people say that. You know what I mean? Because that's the furthest thing from the truth. Like, that dude really is a master in that boxing ring, and you just gotta really be able to see it to really understand what he's doing. But like I said, man, I'm watching the Danny Garcia fight. I ends up seeing Errol Spence, and it's crazy because I had literally just moved to Dallas, Texas, man. I just moved to Dallas like maybe 6 months before I ends up seeing that fight. And down here, I work with a lot of Latinos. I work with a lot of Mexicans and just different Latinos. And, you know, they be big on boxing. So they coming to the job talking about, Errol Spence this and Errol Spence that. I'm like, damn, I just seen this dude. You know what I mean? Like, I just seen him. Dude nice, you know what I mean? So ever since then, man, I just been tapped in with Errol Spence, and I just became a diehard boxing fan, man. I got on YouTube, I'm looking at all his other fights, and, you know, I'm just completely becoming a diehard boxing fan. And it's crazy because, man, football actually was my first love. Like, man, you couldn't tell me nothing outside of football. Like, that's literally all I used to watch, football and basketball, but football was my thing. And you couldn't tell me nothing about nothing outside of football. Like, that's all I used to do, man. It's from a kid. I hardly watched movies. You know, I wasn't watching cartoons or nothing as a kid. I was watching sports. You know what I'm saying? So just me watching sports, man, from a kid, I had a good eye for talent. I had a good eye for just being a great athlete. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw Errol Spence fight that day, man, I saw a special fighter like Steph Curry. Like, Steph Curry, he always, he ain't always been my favorite basketball player, but I like Steph Curry before he won his first championship. A couple years before he won his first championship. You know, he was another dude that I just saw the talent in him. I just saw something that was special, that was different. You know, the way that they played basketball, and, you know, how they pretty much strategized to get you open for the three-point shot. And then they had these two great shooters in Steph and Clay. You know, I just saw it, you know. I just saw the strategic strategy that they was doing to get that shot open, and they had the two perfect guys to knock the shots down, you know. So that's just an example. Like, I swear, like, I literally been a Steph Curry fan at least 2 years before they won their first title in 2015. Because, like I say, I'm from Kansas City, and we don't have a basketball team there, so I more so follow players, you know. Kobe was my favorite player at the time, but once he started declining, I knew I was going to have another favorite player, and the next dude that I saw was Steph Curry, you know. So, and like I say, as I'm becoming a fan of boxing and becoming a fan of Errol Spence's, I'm getting on YouTube and I'm watching all the fights and watching all the build-ups and stuff like that, and I'm checking out all the fighters. And Terence Crawford was his rival, you know. At the time, Errol Spence was chasing down like Danny Garcia, you know, that was my guy. Who else? Kell Brook, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. He was chasing all them down, you know. But I knew that Terence Crawford was at the time. Terence Crawford was still at 140. He was just on his run to become undisputed, and I knew that their names was linked together, so that was automatically his rival. And when I saw Terence Crawford, I saw a great fighter, but I didn't see special in him, you know. So he had an opportunity to pretty much win me over, for lack of better terms, because I wasn't really sold on Errol Spence at the time. I just knew that was something I never saw before, because at first I'm just watching all the Floyd Mayweather fights and all the big fights. So I thought Floyd mastered boxing And that was just it. Like, the master of boxing is what Floyd Mayweather does in there. And that's just mastering it from a defensive perspective. And when I saw Errol Spence master the art of boxing from an offensive perspective, just from a more aggressive standpoint. And I was hooked, man. So, like I say, man, Terence Crawford had the opportunity to, you know, pretty much win me over or whatever. And I just saw a great fighter. But I say all that to say that I knew he would eventually be the one, because with Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, and all the dudes at the top of the welterweight division at the time, I just thought they were solid. I know Terence Crawford is at least a Hall of Famer. He's a great fighter, you know what I mean? He's 39-0 right now, and I can see why he's that way, but I didn't see special. And I say all that, and even at the time, you know, watching boxing, I didn't really understand the sport completely like I do now. You know, I'm still a young boxing fan. I've been a diehard for about 7-8 years, you know, but I literally was eating, sleeping boxing, you know what I mean? So I put a lot of time into studying boxing and watching it, because when I learn something new, I want to master it. I want to know everything about it. So I was hooked. And even still to this day, as I mature in my boxing, in my, you know, just my boxing knowledge and really understanding what I'm seeing, still to this day, I only see one other fighter that I believe is a special fighter, and that's Shakur Stevenson. Like, I believe Shakur Stevenson is a special fighter, and still Errol Spence. I still believe Errol Spence is a special fighter. So I didn't just get sold on Errol Spence because it was something new that I didn't see before, you know, even though it was. But I still, even now, learning what I know, learning what I learned about boxing and knowing what I know about boxing, I still see the same thing I saw in him that day I seen him beat Chris Algieri. You know, so nothing has changed. So my eye test, when I saw him the first time I saw him fight, it wasn't wrong, you know. I mean, another dude that I'm real big on is Jaron Ennis. I believe Jaron Ennis can be special. I just gotta see the stuff that he's made of, you know, the stuff that you really can't see. Like, I gotta see him actually go through something, see him get hit one time. I gotta see what type of person he is internally. You know, I gotta know if he'll ever quit. You know, how, you know, when times get hard in that boxing ring, I gotta know what I'm gonna get from him, you know. And even Shakur Stevenson, to a lesser degree, you know, because I've seen Shakur Stevenson fight in some championship fights and stuff like that. But I just believe Shakur Stevenson's talent is just a little bit better than Jaron Ennis. I believe Jaron Ennis is more athletic and more flashy than Shakur, but I believe Shakur Stevenson is, he like that, man. He like that. You know, that's just, you know, just my opinion, you know. I mean, a lot of people say, a lot of people think Terence Crawford gonna beat Errol Spence. They think he's special. A lot of people think Tank Davis is gonna beat Shakur Stevenson. They think Tank Davis is special. I believe Tank Davis and Terence Crawford are great fighters, Hall of Fame fighters, but I believe it's something special about Shakur Stevenson and Errol Spence that just puts them over the top to me. So, you know, and then another thing, man, something that I want to share with y'all, that the picture on the thumbnail, man, I actually got to see Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo spar. Man, it was crazy. Like, they had just sparred that day. That was the day that Errol Spence, that was the camp of Ocampo. They literally was like maybe 2 weeks out from their fights, man. It was crazy because Jermell fought like June 9th and Earl fought like June 16th or something. And I might have, that picture might have been taken like late May, like almost the 20th or 30th or some shit like that. So they was a couple weeks out from their fight. So they was in peak condition. You know, they was peaking. And I got to see them spar, man. It was crazy. It was crazy, and it happened so fast. Like, I seen a lot of fights in my life. I've been in a few fights in my life, man, but I literally couldn't even tell what was going on in that ring, man. It was happening so fast. Like, it was quick. It was quick, man. I'm like, damn, like, I don't even know who hitting who or what, man. It was quick as hell. Man, it was wild, man, but I got to see that. It was dope. It was a good experience, man. I always try to think back on it now, and I couldn't even really tell you what was happening. I know one thing that I will say, that what I've noticed in watching that sparring, that they both was giving each other good work, but I do know that Errol Spence is a special fighter. And I'm going to just say that Errol Spence is a special fighter. Like, it's something, he knows what to do to make you see that he's winning. You know what I mean? It's something about him to where he just know how to do that little something to either make you feel like he's in control of everything. Even if he's not, even if he's losing a little bit or something, like he just, I really can't pick out what it is. I don't know if it's his ring. He just knows how to be in command in that ring, you know. But I just kind of want to give y'all a backstory on me, man, and how I fell in love with the sport of boxing, man, and why this fight is a huge fight for me, man. It's huge because, like I say, Errol Spence being my guy, Terence Crawford being his rival at the time, I've been waiting on this fight ever since. You know, it completely took my football away, and like I say, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm a Chiefs fan. You know, I got it tatted on me. I'm a Chiefs fan. And you see what my Chiefs been doing, man. My Chiefs have been winning. We won the last 2 out of 4 Super Bowls, you know, so we've been dominating. And boxing completely took football away from me, at least halfway. Like, I don't miss a Chiefs game. Like, don't get it messed up. Like, I don't miss a Chiefs game at all. I'm watching every Chiefs game. But before I became a diehard boxing fan, I used to watch football every Sunday, Monday, and Thursdays. I'm watching every game. It don't matter who playing. I'm watching it. I'm watching football, you know. But now it's like to the point, since I've been so heavily into boxing, that I only watch the Chiefs. I watch a big game here or there, maybe like 2, possibly 3 big games a year outside of the Chiefs I watch. But other than that, man, I've just been on football heavy. Boxing heavy, you know. So it completely did that. It completely took football away from me, man. And we've been winning. Like I say, we won the last 2 out of 4 Super Bowls. And this, to me, is, I hate to say it because the Kansas City Chiefs is for my city. And Errol Spence, you know, I live in Dallas or whatever, and he actually from here, and it just kind of like, damn, like, I'm supporting him. My friends, you know, they be on my ass about it, like, oh, you like Errol Spence because he's from Dallas. Like, man, it ain't even that. It ain't even that. It was just, you know, it just happened to be that way. It's just a crazy coincidence or whatever. But, you know, I love the Chiefs, man, because that's for my city, you know, and I support my city through anything. Like, I'm Kansas City through and through. Like, that's just what it is with me, you know. But this fight right here, to me, is the biggest sporting event possible. It's just like, this is it, man. So for me, being a sports fan right now, and it's crazy because my Chiefs is winning Super Bowls. The Warriors been winning Super Bowls. They just won the Super Bowl last year, or 2 years ago. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year. And now you got Errol Spence on the brink of becoming the undisputed welterweight champion of the world, man. Hey, me as a sports fan, hey, my life can't get no better, you know. Like I say, this is all I did since I was a kid. And I guess, you know, just all the history of watching athletes and being an athlete. I was an athlete. I learned how to understand talent, you know. At least I believe so, you know. And it's showing, you know. I'm all the right guys. And I mean, with the Chiefs, that was a little different because we just, hey, Patrick Mahomes fell in our lap, but hey, we still got him, you know. So this to me is, I hate to say it because the Kansas City Chiefs is for my city. And Errol Spence, you know, I live in Dallas or whatever, and he actually from here, and it just kind of like, damn, like I'm supporting him. My friends, you know, they be on my ass about it, like, oh, you like Errol Spence because he's from Dallas. Like, man, it ain't even that. It ain't even that. It was just, you know, it just happened to be that way. It's just a crazy coincidence or whatever, but you know, I love the Chiefs, man, because that's for my city, you know, and I support my city through anything. Like, I'm Kansas City through and through. Like, that's just what it is with me, you know. But this fight right here, to me, is the biggest sporting event possible. It's just like, this is it, man. And I hear a lot of people say, too, that, you know, when you become a boxing fan and you really become a fan of your favorite fighter, it becomes like real, you get emotionally invested into the fight, you know? And that's the truth, man. You really do. Like, you get emotionally invested into your favorite fighter, and I can 100% agree with you on that. Like, you do, because when Errol Spence fighting, I'm nervous as hell. I can't even really watch the fight. Even if I know he about to watch dude, I still get nervous. I'm still nervous for him and all that. So this fight right here, man, it's everything to me. You know, it's everything. Like, this is the one. This is the one, man. I've been waiting on this for about 7 years. I've been following it, you know, since the beginning. At least since Crawford was at 140, I've been following this situation, you know. So this the one for me, man. But hey, I just kind of wanted to give y'all a backstory on me and, you know, just my history in boxing and how I became a diehard boxing fan and what this fight really means to me, you know, because it's everything, man. And another thing I want to say too, man, hey, if y'all got some people out there, man, check on y'all people, man, because, you know, times is hard today. You know, and I hate to go on a rant or whatever, you know, and I ain't really trying to, you know, get too deep or whatever, but since we kind of, you know, just not really talking about boxing and kind of just talking about me, man, earlier today, I'm going to just kind of let y'all know a story, man. Earlier today, my homie, he been going through some shit, and I'm kind of going through the same thing he going through right now. And this is not the first time that he's went through this, and the first time he went through the situation, you know, he was looking for, you know, all his loved ones to be there for him and, you know, just be supportive. And I was, as much as I could be, you know, as much as I thought I was. But it's different. You can't really feel that empathy for somebody when you're not going through what they're going through at the moment. Even if you've been through it before, when you hear about their situation, it can kind of make you relive that, and you can kind of relive them feelings and emotions, and you can kind of feel for them a little bit, but it's different when you actually going through it currently, you know what I mean? So now it's just like, man, now that I know he kind of going through the same thing I'm going through, I'm just there for him 100%, and I just kind of wanted to give y'all, you know, some motivation that if y'all got some people that's reaching out to y'all or need some help with anything, man, just tap in with them, check in with them, make sure they straight, you know, because like I say, it's hard, especially with the life we living in. Everything is so fast, and, you know, you just trying to do what's convenient, but, and then like I say, it's hard to really feel that empathy for somebody when you're not going through the situation that they going through at the moment. So, and I noticed that, man, man, because I've actually been going through it before him, and it was kind of like that for me. You know, once I realized, like, damn, like, people, you know, people want to be there for you, but they got to live their lives. And once I really realized that, I'm just like, you know, it is what it is. But then once he started going through the situation, I felt for him so much more, you know. And then I think back on the time where it was the first time he was going through it, and I'm just like, damn, I was them same people that I was looking at, you know, for myself in my same situation. I was that person for him that first go around, you know. So now I'm just there for him, and he had told me something like, man, you know, he just thanked me, and I just felt good, and I just felt proud of that. And I completely understood where it come from, and just because now I'm actually going through it and I can feel his pain a lot more than I could before, you know. But that's all, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all my subscribers or whatever. Just kind of wanted to get a little personal with y'all, kind of let y'all know who I am, and, you know, give y'all a little history on me or whatever. But hey, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm gone.